welcome to Tone Bogans, and if you're new here, welcome. Tone Bogans is going to blow your mind. Not really. We just discuss pedals in like a different manner. We don't do rock here because everyone else does rock. You go to all of these other reviews and what do people play? They're playing blues scales and they're playing rock. And I kind of want Tone Bogans to be a little bit different, but I still want to look at the really cheap options that we have for pedals because I don't know anyone that actually has any money, and that was my inspiration. Nobody's got money, so how do we make music? Cheap pedals. Awesome. Today's cheap pedal is the Mosky Spring Reverb. It's this beautiful little pink. I actually really like pink. Didn't wear my pink jumper today because I was like, got a pink pedal to review, can't like imagine I'm holding it up and it disappears and all you can see is the black knobs. Yeah, so didn't wear pink for that reason. Love pink. Discussing the color palette of the pedal a little bit too much, so let's move on. Spring Reverb used to be like a physical tank, and I don't know exactly how it's made. I've watched a couple of like tutorials on how to make it, and it's either springs or like bits of metal held together with springs, and the theory behind that is when sound hits it, it vibrates, and it's like a very metallic, obviously because it's metal, and very metallic reverb, very much like plate. So spring just kind of, if you've ever hit a wire fence and you can hear that kind of whip like that when you hit it, that's sort of what spring reverb is like. This one, from all the reviews I've read, is a very good emulation of it. I don't own a spring reverb tank to compare, and I've never really been a fan of spring reverb on like a multi-reverb pedal. That's the one I skip. So I thought, you know what, this has really good reviews, it's really cheap, I'm going to get it and I'm going to see if I can use it for ambient. And the answer is I can kind of use this for ambient, but if you've watched the Lo-Fi Rig rundown, I place this before my first delay. It sort of thickens up and makes the delay a little bit more syrupy because it's a longer signal that's hitting. It's like a beefier, thicker signal. The repeat's also softer if I put this before my first delay, so that's really cool as well. Makes it a little bit more pad-like, so synth pad-like. This really is the easiest pedal to use. It has mix and it has dwell, and dwell is how long the decay is for the reverb. I like to have it cranked all the way up. Just all the way up all the time. Sometimes I'll pull back the mix to half if I want it like a little less like fluffy, like spongy, I guess is a good term as well. And literally all I use this for is when I'm making something with a volume swell, that's when I put this in front. If I'm doing a lead line, I don't use this at all. But I have watched other reviews, and while I'm saying we're not going to do rock, you can get a very decent emulation of a surf guitar, rockabilly, a kind of old school guitar sound with something like this. So not necessarily this one, but spring reverb in general. When I sort of like flick the pick across the strings, you do get that spring-like emulation. I kind of say that, but I know that it's made of a trio of delay chips. So the delay pedals that we've reviewed have the same chip that this is using to create reverb. So that is a really, I don't know, technical perspective. So because I know that, I'm like, oh, is it emulating it or is it not? But I guess that's up to your ears to decide and not the technical specs that I know that this pedal is based around. That said, let's have a look at some riffs, listen to some riffs, and I will see you on the flip of that. I promise I will not talk as long as I did before the riffs. What, as always, were your thoughts on how we're using the Spring Reverb to create an ambient tone? I didn't use delay, I didn't use any other effects, so it's pretty raw, it's pretty rugged, and it's probably not entirely convincing, is it, in the way that I've used it? But if you go and you listen to some of my lo-fi ambient tracks that I've created, that's where it really does come into its own, and it creates, I guess, that sound. And it is a quite dark sound, there's no tone control, so it does add a certain moodiness and an ambient ambience to the guitar, which I like, and that's why I use it. So what are you going to use it for? Are you going to get this pedal, or do you have this pedal? Comment below. And if you are not a subscriber, why not? Why are you here not subscribed? What is wrong with you? Subscribe so we can have a chat next time. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon. Bye.